And we just literally launched our app about a week ago. So it's brand spanking new on Google Drive and on the App Store. We also are building a fully functional web page version of this app. So it will be available. It'll take a few more weeks, but we will have it completely available from your desktop and your iPad and everything as well. So that's kind of an exciting part of what we're developing. So who the heck are we and what's going on here? So we created an online donation marketplace. Basically, if you've ever used like OpenTable to find a restaurant, this is a similar thing, but it involves charities and making donations instead of eating dinner or lunch. So we want to connect givers with their local charities and have them learn more too, have the charities be able to tell great stories about things that the donations have supported, etc. And the reason for this is we really want to motivate joyful giving to these trusted organizations. We want to vet the organizations, make sure they're 100% above board. We want to provide people with the information they need to be comfortable and safe in making their donations, and also reducing waste, keeping wonderful pieces of furniture out of landfills, etc., and helping people who need the help and building community while we're doing it. So that's what we're up to. So question for the peanut gallery for everyone here. Have you ever, let's think about some of these scenarios, right? These are things that I've run into a lot. I'm a professional organizer by trade. So downsizing a family member, right? And maybe they're not even in state. Maybe they live further away from you, or you're the family member and your kids are trying to help, right? So you run into all that extra stuff that maybe family members don't want, but you want to designate them to go to something really terrific, right? Or you've sold a house, or you're a realtor watching and you've helped sell houses where someone's relocating and there's just things they're not going to take. The new house, you know, that sofa is never going to match the new decor, etc. You've inherited a lot of stuff from maybe a family member who passed away, or multiple family members who've passed away. I have definitely run into that with a lot of my clients. And there's a lot of guilt around getting rid of those things. And you'd like to possibly, at least know that your Aunt Betty would have been so happy that this was given to somebody who really needed it, right? Instead of just throwing away something that maybe they cared about. So you're carrying on the caring from that person, right? Or maybe you feel guilty about getting a dumpster when there's a lot of nice stuff there that you feel like, oh, I shouldn't really put that in a dumpster, but gosh, I have no idea what to do with it. And also just, you did an organizing project, you cleaned out something in your house, or you cleaned out your basement, and there's 2 sets of dishes down there that you're not going to use. You don't want to throw away a nice set of dishes, right? So who could use this? Where could it go to the best case scenario? A lot of my clients hold on to a lot of things in their homes. That's what I've really learned over the years, because they didn't want to just dump it on a corner. They wanted to take it someplace where they knew it was going to something specific or to a specific family. So we're really trying to drive being able to get that information, right? So that's a big part of our mission. So a little history, how the whole concept came about. So I started organizing in 2006 officially, although I'd done it since high school. And when working in people's homes, I've spoken already about some of the things I've learned, but there were many. And we came to COVID, right? Everything came to a screeching halt. Our team was working a little bit because we moved a lot of people in and out of assisted livings to their families' homes. They weren't letting anybody in buildings, but they would let us in. So we were doing a lot of that sort of support work with our masks and our gloves and all, covered up. And there was a certain point at which actually one of my clients passed away, and that drove me to get some coaching, some counseling and advisement into how can I build something to keep people who are trapped in their homes with all this stuff, or who are just feeling overwhelmed with all this stuff, some solutions. And so that's what happened. And I really focused in on one particular story with my coach about a guy named Lou that I worked with. And Lou's wife had passed away, and he had all of her stuff and all of his stuff. And he was in a wheelchair at this point with a home care worker and his daughter helping him. But he knew, he needed to make some decisions in his life. And he was an absolute joy to work with. And we had so much fun. We had the Notre Dame club come to his house so he could give them he used to be Regis Philbin's roommate at Notre Dame. So he was telling stories about Regis and all the mishaps and things they did when they were kids. And the people from the Notre Dame Club loved it. His wife had all these dresses and hats and gowns. They donated to St. Dunstan's Theater here. He went to the play in his wheelchair to see all of her clothes once again sort of come to life, right? And it was tears of joy. It was so heartwarming and wonderful. So my coach and I came to the conclusion that this sort of downsizing, this sort of joyful giving, this parting with things in a beautiful way would be an amazing thing to build, right? An engine to be able to do that for everybody who wants to do it. So downsizing doesn't have to be a downer, bottom line. It can be a really wonderful thing, and you can be a light for someone. Speaking of lights, so the lightning bolt in church is, I wanted to tell the story briefly. I gave a presentation at a church here in Rochester to a group of active seniors at one point, and they said, gosh, it's just, very frustrating because we have all this stuff and we don't feel like we can leave our homes sometimes and go on these long trips. And we have so much that we have to be responsible for, but we really want to go stay with our grandkids and our kids for a couple of weeks. And I said, well, you can start to part with some of the things that you're holding on to so tightly in order to spend the time you want to spend with the people you want to spend it with. The memories are really the more important part of that. And you can love bigger with your stuff rather than just loving your stuff and holding it so close. How about you love outwardly, love on other people, love on your community and whatnot. So love bigger, the name came out of that presentation. So I call it my little lightning bolt in church. And the concept of joyful giving I've talked about, just having it be a fun experience, getting to interact and getting to hear the story of what you're impacting in particular. So having that sort of sense of cause-driven generosity, also being able to vet the charity yourself and say, oh, well, they serve drug and alcohol rehabilitation. And, remember when Uncle Joe had that problem years ago? Wouldn't it be great to serve and help with that? Because we've had that in our family, or we really want to help with women, single moms who've been through an abusive situation because, gosh, remember that time we almost ended up on the street? There was something terrible that happened. You can pick and choose. You can really support who you want. And we want to make it a place where you can locate that and get behind it. And maybe even find some time to volunteer there, once you've learned about it and been involved in that way. Having the sustainability mission, meaning not putting the things in dumpsters that you could keep and reuse. And then obviously the charitable part. So this is a long slide, but I really wanted to get everyone to understand the story a little bit. So everyone in the app, let's get to the app. Everyone in the app is a donor. So that's why I say AKA everyone. Everybody signs up, and you sign up as someone who can donate, because everybody can donate to a charity. So we built it donor focused at the beginning, right? So everybody signs up, and sometimes it's hard to know where to drop an item off. So I'll show you in a moment. I have an emulator on my computer I can hop over to. But it's hard to know where to take the items. So we're going to make a spot where the charities can put a picture of where exactly their drop off is, what it looks like. Some of the locations are in less than desirable areas, so they can post tips, or you can call them, reach out directly and say, well, can somebody meet me? Help me get this out of the car, etc. Or can you come get it if you're not comfortable going? Knowing what a charity will accept, so you're not wasting a trip. We also have them post a list of things they don't take. So as you're looking at the charity information, you can say, oh, all right, I shouldn't take this to this particular location. They're not going to have a place for it. And you can message to make sure they have room for it if it's something large. If you're not sure how to connect, you can do it right in the app. You can reach out and send a message, and they can message you back. The charities can have a whole team of people on, and they can mark themselves available to talk. So there's always hopefully going to be somebody available at the other end of the line or the other end of the text message to zap you back. You wish you could donate directly to a person, right? We've talked about that, rather than just dropping off to a thrift store. Maybe there's a case that the charity can tell you about where they need that right away. An example is Humble Design. One of my clients had this beautiful dollhouse. The daughter had a few of them, because there are only a couple grandkids, so everybody would, give them all these things. And so the little daughter donated her dollhouse to Humble Design, and they did a news story the next day, and she saw her dollhouse being installed in the home with the little kid that got it. She was so tickled that for 4 or 5 years now, every time I've gone to that house, she has a bag ready for me of all of her toys that she doesn't play with. Please take this to them. So it's amazing when you get involved in a specific case and the kids even see it happen, how excited they get. And it builds a habit, which is a wonderful habit to have for kids. Just I want to open it up. If anybody wants to kick in here, like, what's a pain point you've run into with things that you're trying to get rid of that maybe we can help you with? Like, what's something that that you've seen that you've thought maybe this would give me a solution? You can unmute if you'd like to. Any examples?
Jen?
Oh yeah.
This is Cindy.
Hi. Yeah, hi Cindy.
I was decluttering the basement, and I had been storing Victorian furniture of a great aunt's that my sister loved.
Yeah.
That had been in my basement for 17 years. One of those aspirational projects. I'm going to get around to that.
Right.
And I gave her 4 months notice on the fact that it was going to have to go. She either had to come and get it, there was no room in her basement, a boyfriend moved in, that kind of thing, all that double stuff. Sure. And so I just said to her, okay, you've got to figure this out or I will. And so as a month approached, I checked in with her, 2 weeks, checked in with her. I started calling around to see who could use this beautiful velvet carved wood. They would have called it a couch. It's a love seat. That's the size it is. Yeah. And a side chair, a beautiful armchair. Yeah. And I just, in my heart of hearts, couldn't deal with it going to the landfill. Right. So I called antique shops. I called art shops that refurbished furniture. Yeah. Nobody wanted it. I ended up giving it to Hunks with Junk, College Hunks Hauling Junk. Who said they would take it to a donation location. Right. But because it was just too good I just didn't want to see it in the dump. They promised me it wouldn't. I talked to the what's his name over there. Right. Yeah. They have a whole team. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that I think of when I think of where do I take this? And is there it was humongous, it was heavy. Right. I was glad they moved it upstairs. Right. But it was just special. Yeah. It had the family memories. Someone was attached to it. Somebody really loved it. And that's the thing that we want to do. We want to take that love and be able to share it. So we're making a way in the app that you can post pictures of the item and give a little bit of information about it so that the charities can grab it and say, yes, but we have a place we can take that. And then they can message you. So that'll be really amazing. As an organizer, that'll be awesome. I know, right? Exactly. Yes, Cindy's one of my organizing buds. We were on Hoarders together back in 2011. We did the TV show. So we have history, but yes, it's amazing to see the outcomes you can do if we have a place that's like a clearinghouse where charities can look and say, oh my gosh, yes, this family is sleeping on the floor and sitting on the carpet, so we can go grab that, take it over, and they'll have a nice piece of furniture for the duration until they can get something new. But it really it can really serve and help, and that's what we want to create, is a really big engine for that. So thanks, Cindy. That's a really good one. Does anyone else have a pain point they've run into lately that we might be able to help with?
Jen, we have a couple of comments and questions in the chat that I'll read. Please. Caitlin said, I would love my business casual clothes to go to a women's shelter or people needing a business wardrobe. Yeah. That's a great one. That's an excellent opportunity. We know now one of the charity launch partners is Haven of Oakland County. And they often will do partnerships with local shelters where they collect those types of items to help women who are going on job interviews and things like that. Yeah. And, Susan asks, what about garage items like shovels and items to put around flower beds, the plastic and things like that? The ideas on
There are a number of charities that will take the shovels and other items like that, not the least of which would be the Restore for Habitat for Humanity. That's one that I use a lot. And they have a store that they put the items in, or they send it out on their habitat rehabs for houses. So there's a lot of landscaping and yard work that's done once they build or refurbish the home. So those would be great kind of tools for that. And they will accept those. But on the app as well, if it were something where you wanted to get someone to come pick it up, let's say you had a whole bunch of things like that, you could just post a picture of that half of the garage with all that there and say, hey, is anyone, interested in these items? We could get someone out from one of the charities to pick them up. So we're trying to make it possible. But yeah, there are people that do take those.
It's unmuted.
Oh, yeah, somebody's unmuted.
Bill, did you have a comment?
Yeah.
Actually, my wife does.
I'm Christine. I don't want to be seen on camera because I just washed my hair, but
That's okay.
I hope no one sees this. I have no idea about all this technology, but this is like a godsend. Bill and I, we don't know anything about this organization. We're lucky enough to tap into you today. I think God put this in our hands. I'll tell you why. On Tuesday, we've already hired someone, and should we say the company is?
Yeah, two men in a
Two
truck.
men in a truck.
Yeah.
They're coming to our house on Tuesday, and we are paying them a lot of money to bring up things from our basement that are perfectly usable furniture.
Yeah.
We're paying them to bring it to our garage. And
Sure.
from there, we don't know what to do with it. Now, my question to you is, it's like I said, you're like a godsend. It's happening this week, but could we cancel them instead of paying them? Can anyone from your organization actually go in our basement and bring it up?
Well, we don't offer the heavy lifters per se. The charities do sometimes, depending on who it would be. If you want to take pictures and post them in the app, we have a couple of charities on there now. They're just starting to join, so the timing might be a little bit early for that. But what I would say is if you get them to the garage, definitely take pictures and post them in the app, and we will make some phone calls too on our end and see if we can get the charities to bite and see if they would come
Okay,
to
I
get them
think
from
we
there.
can go. Yeah, I understand. I think we can go from there. I think from garage to somewhere you would pick up from our garage,
From the
right?
garage. The charities will for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's what
not-
they usually ask.
But not from the basement. Is that what you're pretty sure of?
Most of them want it to be accessible like that, like from the garage.
When
It's
I
better.
reached out to them, they told me it has to be in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, well, we'll be connecting with you soon because
Yeah.
Tuesday, they're gonna bring this stuff from the basement to our garage.
Yeah.
And that means we have to put our car out in the driveway. We don't want to do that for long. So I think we will be very interested in moving that stuff real fast.
Yeah. Well, that's
Thank
terrific.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank
yeah,
you
we're
very
happy to
much.
help.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Terrific. All right. Well, as you can see, this is something that's very commonly happening. Realtors run into it every day. I know I've got a couple of my realtor friends on here. They run into it frequently where people are moving and they're not taking certain pieces of furniture. So they're always posting on their Facebook and things like that. Does anybody want this? But I'm trying to give them a great place to post some of the items as well and see if they could connect them to charities and really benefit, rather than having to be in that last minute panic. You've got usually a little bit of notice when you're starting to get the house ready to show. So if you start listing those items early, you can get them out the door before someone closes and moves out, that kind of thing. So charities, on the charity side,
1 second.
here's some of the challenges.
We had a couple more questions.
Oh, do it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Renee asked, old working vacuum cleaners and scuba gear. Do we know of anybody locally who does that? I know Community Housing Network is one of our launch partners that's on now. They help rehouse people, and that is one that I think they often are looking for the items that someone needs to move into a home. And if it's in good condition, there's someone that you probably like.
Yeah, they do. Grace Centers of Hope also will take, as long as it's a working vacuum cleaner, they will take, because they manage 50 plus houses and apartments in Pontiac that people move into and out of as they go through their recovery program. And they take the things with them when they move out into their own places. So a lot of those items need to be replaced on a very regular basis in that case. So that's another good one for vacuum cleaners. Scuba gear, that's one to post, because there will be somebody
who will, who will want that. I don't know if it'll be immediate, but if you have some time on that, post it and let's see who bites. That'll be fun.
Specific one.
Yeah.
And then Cindy wanted to know if locally are Wayne County charities listed?
Yes, we're getting charities all over Michigan. We have been working through vetting them, and as we vet them, we're adding them on. So they are listed on there with all of their contact information. And then in addition, as the charities sign on and add more detailed information, you'll see I'll show it on the demonstration in a moment. They'll pop up as little hearts. So those are the charities that have all the deep dive information that's added. But we're doing all over the state of Michigan right now. And then once we complete Michigan, probably by year end, we will expand to some other Midwestern states, and then we will go national sometime next year. So it will be everywhere. Hopefully very soon, but you know, we have to do this in a stepwise manner. So that's what we're doing right now. Any other questions there?
I think that's it.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Good. Okay, so just on the charity side, some of the things the charities run into, you know, it's hard for them to get items donated that they really need for certain situations. Some of the smaller charities, they get glutted with a lot of things, then they have too many of certain things, and then they have other things that come in that are just, you know, they have missing pieces, parts don't work, etc. So they get a lot of trash and things like that. Unique items that you need that are hard to get donated sometimes, it's hard to get the word out. There's a charity in Pontiac that has a lot of people sleeping on floors, and they did a bed drive last year. And I did a personal bed drive for them, even bought a couple of twin beds for them. But just trying to get, you know, very specific things in a timely way to get some kids up off the floor, etc. Bill's got a question. Bill, what's your question? I see a hand up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi, Bill.
Okay. Hi there. We've been married a wonderful 57 years. 17 years ago, we moved from our one Shelby Township home to another. We brought a lot of stuff with us. At that time, when we moved out of the other house, we donated a lot of stuff to a woman's shelter in Pontiac, Michigan.
Yeah.
Ladies that, you know, have been abused and so forth.
Yeah.
I can't find them. Okay. I did call what I thought was them. And the lady said, well, we're real picky on what we take. You know,
Right.
we've got an entertainment center that's just beautiful, but it's, you know, nobody uses them anymore.
Right,
So
right.
this is one of the items we're bringing up from the basement. And I mean, you have specific charities that will take these and give these to the people in Pontiac?
Yes, I know that the one place in particular, the Habitat for Humanity in Waterford, it's not far from Pontiac, they would take it because they have a lot of furnishings in their store that they resell, but and then it benefits the housing restorations that they do. So I know that might be one in particular. They just expanded that store. It's ginormous. So I know they would have room at this point to take something like that. But in addition, on the app, if you want to post a picture of it, and I'll show you how to do that, maybe there'll be someone else that would crop up and say, yes, we can use that. We have a situation that we can put it into. So,
Okay.
so that's another option. Just depends on how fast you want to do it.
Okay, we start with
Well,
their
this
app.
is so timely. I mean, we finally got my wife to say, yes, we need to move some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, our son has told us that when it's his turn, it's going to be a dumpster. We don't want that.
Right,
You know?
exactly. You can be such a better steward of that than to have that happen while you have the time. And like I said, you might it sounds like you really were touched to have encountered that women's shelter in the past. So this might enable you to come upon some new charities that are really operating heavily in that area, because you can use our map function to see it, and I'll show you that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I did reach out to one of them, just, you know, willy-nilly, she said, well, you know, our movers will charge you to take them from your garage and bring them to us.
Yeah.
So it's great that you have a list that will, I mean, not that we don't, we just don't need to waste our money. You know,
Right.
it's
Oh,
good
yeah.
to,
We want
you know,
to do
be
it
able to
cost
do that.
effectively.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
For sure.
Thank you very
For sure.
much. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jen,
you're
for being
welcome.
here. Yep.
Yeah. So, just a last point about the charities, you know, having that communication piece, right? So in the app, you can message back and forth too, in addition to getting their phone number and calling directly in.
So we're really trying to make sure that the communication is expanded and you can find each other again. So you can favorite that charity in the app, you know, and then you can receive communication from them about upcoming drives they might have or things like that. So we really trying to keep everybody in touch for the long haul as well, so that you don't lose track of, you know, where that went or who that was. That's another piece that we can help with. So I'm super excited about that. Is there anyone from a charity that has a pain point they want to fill in that maybe I have not?
We just got that question. Are you going to cover how a charity can join? So I think
Yes.
we're ready for that.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Perfect. Okay. So
Right.
I'm gonna, if I can get my screen to switch. Hold on. Screen isn't switching. Don't know why. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So here's some of the challenges and things we can help with. So we help the donors find the organizations. We partner with the charities, enable pickups and scheduling to be done directly back and forth. We are going to work on a transportation piece for this, but it's not there yet because we're just trying to get everyone on board before we start adding new things, get everyone comfortable with what we have, the basic product. Communication, obviously, and then education piece, because the charities are able to post stories to tell you about what's happening. So let me show you, if hopefully I can get over to my demo here. Let me put this away for a moment. So can you see my little pretend phone? All right. Good. So I just have to move some things around here because it's okay. There we go. So when you sign up, when you download the app onto your phone, you can go to the App Store, just type in Love Bigger. It'll come up. You'll see our little logo, our little hand and heart. It's on my shirt too. So if you download that and sign up, you put your basic information and it's free to everybody. There's no charge to sign up. Everybody's a donor. So what you'll see when you first open it up is you'll see some charities here. There's featured charities. So those are charities that have paid for a premium membership. So they want to be right at the top of your mind. They want you to see them first. They want to tell you what's happening and they want to interact. So those are our real active players in the game, right? And then we have other charities in your geographic area. It will search based on where you're coming to us from, and it'll pull in the charities that are near you. This is a mock-up. So you're just seeing a sort of pretend version. And then it will have needs here. The charities have said, this is something we need immediately. So it has like sort of an alert section here, things that they're really looking for. Other needs that are just regular things that they need on a day-to-day basis. And then stories. So that you can drill down into, oh my gosh, this charity got this donation and look what they did, right? Or they can say, we've got a coat drive coming up. If you've got coats in your house, please drop them off to us at such and such, right? So that's the kind of things you'll see on your homepage as a donor. And if you want to see, like, for example, I'm going to touch this top left corner and I'll show you my profile. This is me in the pretend version of the app. You keep your information here. Notifications will be when you hear back from one of the charities if you sent them a message. And my charities is for use if you are someone who works for a charity. So this is going to answer that question that just came up. And help, I'm just going to show you that real quick. If you want to learn a little bit more about how to use the app, we have a little help section here. So you can get, a little bit of a tutorial. So that's in that little help section in your profile. So that'll give you a little bit more of a lesson on where things are and how they work. Now, from your home screen, you can search. So we have this great search functionality. We'll see if it loads for me in my lovely Wi-Fi at home here. You can see it in a list view or a map view. So there's a list view there, or here's my map view. So as you can see on my map view, all of these dots are charities that have been added in the Detroit metropolitan area. If they are the other colored hearts, that they have a few different things that they've added to their profile. So that's why they pop up larger. They are those preferred charities that like really want to hear from you, want to interact. And so they're popping up now and more so every day. So that's why you'll see those hearts that are a little bit bigger. But as you can see, there's a lot of charities in the Detroit area. We're adding more all the time. So just, check back regularly. And if you want to just see the list view, here it is. You can click into these charities to get the drill down information, and I'll show you that in a second. This little plus sign at the bottom, you can add an item here. That is where, my friends with furniture in the garage, you can put information about your item, and you can put a picture of the item here. You can tag it. Let's say it's a dresser. You could put dresser and put that tag on it. That helps us search. That helps if anybody's looking for that in particular, if a charity's looking for a certain type of clothing or whatever. If you put little tags on it, that's how they can find you. So, so that's a great tool on the donor side. And then obviously this is what it looks like to drill down into the map. You can keep track of your items. So let's say I had 5 items listed. I didn't put any in my profile this morning. I should have, but shoes, a sofa, and I know Ben has a big drill, a drill press or something he's got on his. So he's got items listed. If a charity wants those items, they will let you know. And then once you donate it, you can click it and it'll move to your donated page. And it will also, in your charity profile or in your personal profile, keep track of the donated value that you've donated for the year of those items. So you have that, and at the year end, you can report, print a report of that when we have our website up shortly. So we're trying to make it easy to keep track for taxes too. So that is all on the donor side. If you are a charity, you hop in your profile and you can add your charity here. This means, let's say I'm part of Care House of Oakland County as an example. I hit that register a new charity button and I can add my charity information, all the things I accept, my needs that are priority, etc. So I'll just hop in and show you, like, for example, if I'm a charity, I'll switch into my charity account. I want to switch over. Yes, I do. So here is how the charities can manage themselves. And they can add a story or add a need on the fly. That's this little button at the bottom. In their profile, this is like for the actual charity information. So they put in all the different items they're requesting, things they do not accept, how to reach them, drop off schedules. If they have a specific time, you can bring things during certain days, how to get a hold of them to arrange a pickup, how far they'll go, etc. So that's some of the information the charities can put in, and you can do more and more. They can also put stories in here, and that's if they do a subscription. That's how they do their payment processing for some of the higher level subscriptions. So that's an overview of the basic product. Let me see what else I forgot to tell you about. I'm just looking at my notes for a second. Well, that'll probably cover majority of questions. Let's see, Andrea, it looks like the chat blew up. What else? What are questions in the chat?
A few more questions about how charities can get connected.
Mm-hmm.
And if the app is localized. This Kathleen's with the St. Vincent de Paul in Jackson County.
Yeah, the app is set up so the charities join by location. So they can go in and they would put in that specific address point, right? So that when it comes up on the map, all that information is tied to that particular location. So yes, for some of the bigger charities, like for the St. Vincent de Paul locations, they do one entrant or one charity for each location, one listing.
Yeah, and I've offline, I asked Kathleen to, we'll connect with her.
Yeah.
She said they deliver food to families in need, but occasionally we have families looking for items too. So this would be perfect for you guys, Kathleen.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can do it on the fly. You can be in their home and you can say, for this case, we need whatever, or you can do a quick video and upload it and say, this is what we need here, and do a call to action for your followers in the app or for anyone who sees it, because obviously on that landing page, there are the stories. They do pop up and they are geographic. So the stories will crop up only in that, in the geographic area that it makes sense. So they won't just be everybody.
Thank you very much for that. And this is Kathleen with St. Vincent de Paul.
Yeah.
If we're looking for particular items, say somebody calls and says, I need a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
And we can go on the app and we can look for them in our local area.
Yes, you can. What happens when you're a charity and you can search for items that are being offered,
And it actually will present you with a list of the items in your area that are available. And then you can literally select that item. You just click it and communicate with that individual. Yeah.
Okay, so similar to a Facebook search where we're just Facebook Marketplace, we're just looking for items that we can connect a donor with one of our families in need. Great, thank you very much.
We modeled it like that, but there's a lot of people who aren't comfortable with Facebook. A lot of my older clients don't tend to use it. And so we just thought it would be great to have an independent standalone tool. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Anything else there, Andrea, that I need to?
Nope, that's it.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. All right. I'm going to pop my little PowerPoint back up. But I am happy to schedule a, I probably have, it's going to hop to the beginning. Sorry about that. I probably, for any of the other charities, specific questions, any particular things that you want to see in detail, I can hop on with you with Ben. Ben is our sales leader, team leader. And he keeps me in line and gets me there. So we will definitely hop on with you and do all the detail that you would want. Here's the things that we would love. We have some big goals right now. We really want to get 200 or more charities on by December in Michigan. So we have the whole state to work with. So Ben and I are in a flurry of activity, letting everybody know about it. We're going to have another call on October 20th. For everyone, another information session just like this one, but I will post this video also so you can share it out to anyone you know who might be volunteering at a charity to let them know we're doing this. We already are well over 100 donors. I did a one little 3-minute segment on, as you heard at the beginning, on the 9, and we had over 100 people sign up just from that. So donors, we are flying, but please tell your friends, tell them to sign up, tell them to hop on there. We would love to get over 500 by the end of the year. I think we can do it. And then our goal is to provide every charity that signs up with us at least 5, donation deliveries, things that were key things they were looking for, et cetera, by year end from our donors. And obviously we hope that it's much bigger than that. We really want this to be a movement of people connecting. So we expect that we will just crash through that little goal. And then we have a crowdfunding and grants that we're seeking. So we're trying to, I just made a goal of 10,000, try to get some crowdfunding and grants behind the app to keep us flying with our developers. We have a whole team that's working on it. Oh, Bill, question? Yes.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. I have a friend that's interested in this, but explain this very explicitly here. Share on IG with @LoveBigger official. Tell me exactly what I tell my friend how to tap into, or listen to this. You said this is going to be repeated.
Yes.
So how do I tell my friend to get? Exactly.
I will put a link on our website to this, but it will be on YouTube on our channel. Love Bigger has a channel on YouTube. So our video will be posted there, but I'll put it up on the website, lovebigger.com as well.
Okay.
And then I will share it on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is Love Bigger Official. So someone already had Love Bigger when I went to get it. And I'm like, well, that's strange because there's not another Love Bigger out in the world. But anyway, so it's Love Bigger Official.
All right. We will look for that. But he just told you about how many years we are computer literate, but we are going to ask my 13-year-old granddaughter about what the heck is Twitter, hashtag, what you just said, TikTok. We're going to ask her for all these. She's going to laugh, and we're going to say, we've heard these words. Just tell us what they are. When would we use them? So I will look at lovebigger.com.
Yeah, that's the best place.
Okay.
Everything will link back to the website. Yeah.
Okay. So again, about seeing today's seminar would be just by tapping into our YouTube. I gotta ask my friend.
And I'm going to email it out to everyone who signed up to be on the call today. I'll email you a copy so you can forward it.
That's wonderful.
That's easy, yeah.
And now today's seminar, which we didn't know anything about, is this the first of many or the first only or what?
No. This is first of many. I will be doing at least once a month, if not twice a month on this format. And then I'm going to do some things between our Facebook page and our other social media too. I'll go live and do some more training and some downsizing education, that kind of thing.
with our other social media places too.
Okay, and will the future ones be the same topic or other topics, or what do we, what are we looking forward to on your future?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's always gonna have fresh news and updates because we will have new charities joining us and all that. So we'll definitely highlight some of the new and up and coming, things that have come on board in that previous week or 2 or 3, depending on frequency of
Okay.
these.
So-
And so we will have, again, just an overview of the app itself to make people see, get comfortable with that. Also, when our web page goes live, which is similar to the app, but it's going to be on your computer instead. When that goes live, I will do training on that to make it a lot easier for people to just work from their computer as opposed to having to do everything in their little phone.
Jen, I
Yeah.
just have one question. What about jewelry? We've got 4 parents that have passed and uncles and aunts.
Uh-huh.
Is there any of these charities looking for jewelry? And number 1 and number 2, are
Because
we
they
gonna
can,
repurpose it or melt it or
melt it
whatever?
down and get the money for it. Would they accept, anything like
Because,
that?
we have some jewelry, we want to get rid of. And, take the charitable donation for it instead of the cash. I
Right.
mean, is there anybody out there yet?
Well, I would say to post it because I would wager that there is. I haven't run into it recently, but there is a great website called worthy.com that you can buy and sell on that will sell nicer jewelry.
Okay.
But I would say post a picture of 1 or 2 of the pieces and see who reaches out. These are the only people allowed on this site are charities that we have checked out, and the people from the charities are people we will have checked out. So
Okay.
by all,
Safe.
they should be
Sort of
people that-
reputable, safe.
It's
Yeah.
pretty safe.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, they're safe to see it. Okay.
That's always a concern,
Concern, yeah.
Yes, I know, especially when you're dealing with that. Yeah. So,
Well, thank you.
cautious. Yes.
Did you have any other questions, Christine?
No, I just wanted to know what to expect in the future and how to get today's seminar
She's
to my
gonna
friend.
email
But
it
you'll
to us.
email, and thank you.
Yes.
Thank
we
you.
will, for
You're
sure.
a godsend, Jen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Timely-
Yeah.
Timely
Well,
for us.
Jen,
Yeah. So we're going to
this
grow
is
that
Shirley.
and
Sorry,
just, check back.
this is Shirley. I have a question. I
Yeah,
am
Shirley.
a volunteer with an animal rescue group. Do
Nice.
you have any
Mhm.
animal charities? People buy all kinds of stuff for their pets.
Yes, they
And
do.
when the pet passes on or
Yeah.
gets rehomed or whatever, they don't know what to do with all this stuff.
Yeah. We
Are there any
definitely
charities
want the
out
pet
there?
charities.
Are
Yeah.
there any charities out there devoted to that kind of thing?
There are, we would love to have them on the app. We would love if you share with your charity because we do want to be able to exchange pet supplies and things like that. We, frequently as an organizer, I have taken items over to either Michigan Humane or some of the other local dog and cat rescues and just drop them off. But if they have needs for things, or if they want to just keep an eye out for people who are trying to donate and say, hey, yes, we'd love to have that. We would love to have that interaction on there from the pet charities as well. Leader Dogs for the Blind is one we would love to have. We're going to try to get around to all of them in the next few months and try to get them on board. But yes, that's in our wheelhouse. And one other thing we would love to do is work with medical supplies, because I know that when people are sick, sometimes they bring a bed in from Vincent's. They've used it for a week. It's completely clean and able to be reused. So there's things like that we would love to also add. So we're going to work to get as much information out to these charity groups as we can and get them on and looking and interacting to get those things in the right place. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll tell you, about a year ago,
Mhm.
I live in an apartment and I live alone.
Mhm.
So she collect everything and anything. And when my mom died, I think I got back everything I ever gave her.
Right.
Christmas, for birthday, for Mother's Day. And so I've got like piles of stuff around here. So last year in the winter, I sat down one day and I looked around and I said, I can start on that. So I've got it in my mind, I've got it marked in levels.
Yeah, right.
I've
Exactly.
taken care of level 1, which is stuff that's on top of surfaces.
Right,
We have to
yeah.
go- then now we have to go deeper. 2 is going to be a little deeper, 3 will be deeper, and 4 I'm going to just empty out the place.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like,
So
that
I'm
happens
really,
so
when I
much.
saw you on channel 2, I was just like, oh my God, what an answer to prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it every day. I really do. And during COVID, it got worse for a lot of people because they were stuck home and they just started shopping on Amazon. So a lot of people did not even just the inherited stuff, but just stuff that they kind of just were bored and were shopping, and they're packed in right now. So there's a lot of things that really could use to go to useful, better use, or let's say. So yeah, for sure. So yes, please tell your friends. Keep an eye on us because we're going to continue to grow. Like I said, we're babies right now. We are just infant in a little pair of diapers. But we have big dreams, and we really do want to make this a great tool for everyone. So
Here's a really stupid question.
there is no stupid question. What's
Are
up?
you looking for employees?
Oh gosh. Well, we will be. We will.
I'm a retiree, but I would really like to get back doing something more productive.
Yeah, for sure. Well, keep in touch with us. And we'll see, as we grow, we've got to get revenue coming in and not just going out right now. So as we get bigger though, we will be doing that for sure, because we're going to eventually add some sustainability ambassadors is what I'm calling them. People who want to go out and connect and help people to become involved in not, reducing our waste, right? And reducing and improving the communication so that these things go where they really are needed. So we will be doing that. So just, stay in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Oops.
Definitely. Thank you. And thank you for this. I'm really excited.
I am too. I'm glad you are. So just, join our communities if you can, because we'll definitely use our social media. And we're going to try to be more evident out on the news and that kind of thing too. And the next call for this general information call will be October 20th. We'll send out some other updates if we set up like a really specific training on a certain subject, that people want to hear. So the more we hear from people, the more we'll build some more classes.
I want to hear it all.
Yeah. Good. Good. I'm so glad.
Information, the better. And the more information I have, I can pass on. I have a friend whose husband passed away.
Yeah.
And she's got a whole house full of stuff.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And I said, Jill, you got to get started before you can do.
Well, right. Well, you can do it and be able to steward it where you want it to go. Right.
Right.
And so that's the thing that we think is just so important on our team, and everybody's really on mission with this, just sharing the love. You love this thing so much, and you can really love on people with it. And so that's our goal, is to create that connection and create a platform where people can share like that. So I'm so glad your heart's in it, because mine is. And
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, great. Are there other questions I can answer here as we finish?
Not for me.
Oh, good. Okay. Good. Well,
I'll mute.
Good. We have a cheerleader. I'm so excited. Any other ones, Andrea, in the chat?
Marty asked, and Marty had a great comment earlier. She said, they said they used the app to look for charities in West Michigan and found one with a medical equipment loan closet. Love bigger for the win.
Oh, yay. See that? That's what we're after. So, we definitely want to help with medical equipment's a tough one, because people have walkers and those little raised potties and different things. And they can be, never even used, brand new in the package, but they, the medical supply companies don't take them back. So there's a lot of senior centers. We'd love for some of the senior centers to join us, because then, they often will have those kind of medical supply closets with canes and walkers and things that they loan out, other things like that. So we definitely want to help in that arena, because I've seen that over and over. They're just wasted.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
It's Cindy.
Yeah.
I also am going to make sure I add the app to the classes I teach.
Oh, great. Yes.
So, because I talk about how Salvation Army doesn't take personal care items, don't plan on donating until you find out what they do and don't take. Right. This will be a lovely one-stop shop for people to connect with local charities, find out that they do take it and or don't. So,
Right. And if it's
I'll,
not on the list, they can at least, directly communicate with somebody and say, hey, I've got this thing, right? What are you willing to?
Exactly. When, especially when they're unique, like Victorian furniture.
I know, right?
But I mean, just the run of the day stuff too. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. If you're not sure, we hope that pretty soon with getting, critical mass, getting more and more charities on with more information people can share, most objects will be covered, or they'll at least be paying attention and looking to grab those things when they see them. So
yeah, it's a brilliant idea, and I thank you for it.
oh, thanks. I appreciate that so much. We're here to help.
And Marty also asked, this is a tough one. We used to have a charity that accepted cotton and denim clothes for scrap. They don't do it anymore. Are there suggestions for worn out clothes?
Yes. TerraCycle. TerraCycle.com is a really great website. They have what's called a kitchen box on there. They have a lot of different boxes you can order. But if you're concerned about fabrics and you want to be able to recycle them, TerraCycle, TerraCycle, they have at the kitchen box you can put any sorts of broken down items that you want recycled that don't go to traditional recycling, including fabrics. And so that's where I tend to send old dish towels or any other fabrics, even old, like as long as it's washed, but like old undergarments and things like that that you can't donate, you can put there and they will recycle those fabrics. You just ship it back to them and they take care of it. Any other ones?
Question, and you still had the answer. That's awesome.
I know, right? I've been doing this a while.
Jen?
Yeah.
Patty, do you have
I'm having a difficult time. I can't find anybody who will take Christmas decorations. I have a lot I'm not using and they're in great shape, but nobody wants them. Do you know anybody?
There are a lot of churches, and I'm going to try to get churches on here, and other like community groups that do, because they'll have events or occasions where they can use them. We're heading into that season now. So I hope to get some of those church groups on that will post a need for that, or they say they'll accept it. Now, they do at certain times of the year, some charities will take them. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I think Grace Centers of Hope does take them around this time of year or after Halloween, perhaps. But that's something you can check on the app and message them about, but I think they do. It has to be close enough to the holiday. They can get them cycled through and sold or, put to use.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been difficult. Nobody wants them. And I don't want to just throw them out.
Beautiful.
They're in great shape. You only use them, a couple weeks a year and that's it. So.
Right.
Okay. Well, great.
Yeah, closer to the holiday, that does open up a little bit more opportunity. So hopefully, yeah. Post a picture of them. Like if they're in a bin or something, just shoot a picture of the bin as an item, pop them into the app and say, would love to donate these Christmas decorations to someone who could use them, and then see if it gets selected. I'm hoping that the charities will pay attention to that. And I'm going to put the word out too. That's another post I can do.
I like that. That is a great idea. Be able to post something.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Well, thanks everyone. Andrea, if there's not any other questions, I think, gosh, we'll look at that. 2 minutes with 2 minutes to spare. We got today. So I want to thank everyone for coming out and asking your questions, and hopefully got some useful answers. And like I said, we'll do this again next month, but also keep an eye on our website, and we'll send out more information, and we'll send this recording to you. So thanks again.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for coming out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.